Hi. Hi. Can't, oh my God, believe I'm up this early. Let me check the time. Okay. So, I've been doing this and that, right? And getting myself together, trying to better myself. It is harsh out here. I mean, I have to get up. I've been up since 4, 3, 3, 4, 3 4s, right? So, like, that's what it is. You try to do the best you can. And I just wanted to let you know I got my band built. I didn't sleep in there last night. Uh, I got the refrigerator, the food's in there. I'm happy about that. That's great. And I tried to do my makeup this morning, so excuse me if I just don't toss and turn and toss and try to get that straightened. So I've done all I can. I've lost one of my earrings on this side, but you can't really see it, so it's on the floor. It fell off. So what I'm going to try to do is just kind of keep up with myself, keep up with things, and just let um, the ball and the chips fall where they may. No, I've just been handed some information, and I'm gonna put a link to her video, and I'm actually gonna ask her if it's okay, and I'm going to put a link in with Bank of America. I don't know what she got going on with them, but she is amazing. She's a beautiful, beautiful lady. And if I'm glamping and camping, and this is for anyone who's glamping and camping and has not heard yet, there are incentivized plans so that you can try no matter what your income, no matter what your I guess your kind of status is. If you're moving into Black or Hispanic, and it's 50% Black, 50% Hispanic, you can, and it doesn't matter what your race is, you can qualify for what I would call this loan assistance. And you have to go through the training. And I'm sorry, even last night I was having problems with my nose, and I'm going to do a neti pot this morning. I think my old boss would be so proud. that but again, when I left there, he was not my boss, he was my coworker again. So all things being equal, you know, you are you are given a set time, and then things improve, things change. Doesn't mean you got less pay or anything like that. So circumstances change, and that projects end, so they're temporary. So it's not a saying on him or me or anything. So just letting you know, circumstances change. So that's why I'm glamping, and I've been glamping for 3 months now. I just want to tell you, I have gone through, Adele has that song, Take It Easy on Me. I've been through a lot, and people go through a lot. People do. I've been through a lot. There have been a lot of, accusations flying through my head. I have a lot to deal with. It's nice to find calm and peace in the midst of the storm, in prayer, and contemplative, prayer, and going through the Bible, and that's the cycles of what it means to come back to first love. First love for me means just remembering when it was that I chose to believe, and who it is that I chose to believe in. It's not at the time, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about fame, and at the time it was just about a connection. And one day I think I had watched the story of Jesus, and it was right by my sister, and we were very young. I was 6, she was 8 at the time, 8.5, going on 9. She's 3 years difference from me, but it depends on the cycle of where we are in life. So we ended up watching like Jesus of Nazareth. And I kind of wanted to tell you my story because it's a testament to strength, courage, and perseverance. And also a testament to how a little bit of you can tell that it would be hard for us no matter what if we didn't make the decision to see that there would be things that would come between us, even of our own, even things that we had created and invented. So to be of good courage and give this testimony, I hope you won't judge me too much, but I had gone through a lot of, not too much, it was just the tone of the people was of like take advantage here, take advantage of there, and some past rifts and people trying to get over. Believe it or not, I had confidently actually had the wherewithal to get out of multiple really bad situations, even as a child. But this is how it really, really began. I feel like we were on the devil's radar, like right from the beginning, and seeing if we took to this type of gospel explanation where we could be either mind controlled or something like that, but something else took place. It went a little bit further, and there was this appreciation that there would be a God. So sometimes you bring God into the situation and you use it to control, but then it turns out he picks from among people, different people who are effectively, I don't know, their own kind of person. And I'm not saying this makes you great or this makes you better. It just means that you follow and you want to, you have some leadership qualities. And I think that's innate in everyone. And it doesn't make you special or she or whatever, this, that. But you can look at successful people and you can say to yourself, wow, that looks really great. I'd like to be a part of something like that. And you don't have to necessarily not be successful and have everything. You can actually back off for a while, hotel it, and still find peace and still find your own sense of well-being. There are lots of people who, when they're on the set, they have to live in campers and glamping and things like that. They don't always get a hotel. It depends on the location. Sometimes they get campers and RVs themselves, and they have to make it work because that's their living, that's their livelihood. So you have every right to assume that if you've been out there and doing, you have been as bands or as the glorified this and that before, even after you make it, there are trailers, there are RVs, there are places you need to shower and take care of yourself. So being at the lowest, like what you might consider the lowest rung, is not even still close to the lowest rung of someone who is still trying to make a living for themselves, earn a living, and still trying to acquiesce to do it in a very helpful and concise way, which doesn't infringe upon anyone. My job is not to critique anybody else. My job is not to compare myself with anyone else. My job is to persevere, endure, embrace God, love God with all my heart, mind, soul, and body. And in doing so, hopefully, acclimate myself to, you know, his way, not my own way, even when I don't understand. And it's really difficult right now. It's really, really difficult. I am so inundated with so much like external. And so shutting the door to the external is really, it may not shut all the way. It may be a crack in the window. So that's where I'm trying to get at. For the beginning, after we pledged our lives, my sister and I, there were constant attacks. we were on the devil's radar. We had endured a lot, the both of us. And either I witnessed it and that proved to be shocker, or I endured it myself and that proved to be a shocker for me too, to know that people would just treat you so badly. And so when I was younger, I decided, by the time I was, I mean, it's only a short window of a period, but by the time I was 10, I decided I didn't want to be on the other side and be kicking, down people's lives before they began. I made a decision to not pursue, to not have those types of things. What helped that along was that by the time I went into the world to be with my dad, my stepdad at the time, because my parents divorced and were gone by the time I was like 5, 6. So that's why he wasn't there, my dad. And then, and by the time we were like 9, we met our stepdad, and 8, 9 we met him, and he happened to be someone we already knew because he was our preschool teacher, or at least Denise's preschool teacher. And then it just so happened that since he started dating my mom, he gave her a gift that at the time, furniture was big. So he gave her like, I don't know, when I say like maybe a 15, 17, 19 inch TV or something. It was heavy. Even our record players back there were the size of the cabinets were the size of caskets. So when we got a TV, it was huge. And so we ended up, she couldn't carry it up the steps, so that's why we met him. And we found out they were dating, and they had been dating for quite some time. And so then we they left us home one day. Denise and I, we were praying, or we were watching Jesus of Nazareth, and we ended up praying towards the end. We were like, Jesus, don't go, because he had done so many wonderful miracles. And I remember screaming and crying and just being like, Jesus, don't go, don't go, don't die. Like, we were just screaming, don't die, don't die, don't die. And we were crying, bawling, and we were sitting side by side, so her hands were intertwined with mine. And we were just inconsolable. I mean, you would have thought, we were so devastated. The funny thing is, we were crying so hard, we couldn't hear, and Denise couldn't hear. She was bawling. I had never seen her bawl like that. And I remember I looked up and I looked through it and I said, wait. He's not left us. He's risen. He's a risen king. He's the Lord of Lords. He's the King of Peace. He hasn't left us. And I said, Denise, wipe your tears. So I wiped her tears. And I said, no, don't cry no more. There's no more tears. There's no more dying. We have salvation. He is with us. And that was like the first time, like, I wiped my sister's tears. And that was probably, it wouldn't be the last time, but that's how I felt so assured. I felt an assurance by God that he would never leave me, no matter what I was going through. And I felt this blessing come over my sister and I. And I could not help but believe in Jesus. I couldn't help but know how he had touched my heart in a way that gave me an assurance about him. And it doesn't mean I don't doubt. It's just that there's so much of my life is full of proof. It's full of his faith, his faithfulness, his righteousness. And that my life has been up and down. It's been dirty, dirty, clean, clean. There's been sins, frustration, shame. There's been desperate moments. There's been times of this and that. But God is faithful. God is my righteousness. It's a righteousness that covers me because he's God. It doesn't excuse when I do bad or wrongdoings. It doesn't take away the consequences of that. It doesn't take away the hurt and the pain every time. But it covers me enough so that I know if I get to the next day and the next day that there's joy that comes in the morning. I had gone through a really bad time in my house, and I was really persecuted a lot by my own community after my family died, by by this own, whatever people are going through. You kind of feel it like in the air. It's thick with kind of a wincing of where is this abject hatred coming from, from everyone. And it's a shame. It's not where I would have wanted to land in this time of my life. But what I've done is prepare for my recovery by asking God for that kind of faith, and to prepare me for the bounce back and the comeback moment, because I feel as though it is a place where I've been like kind of jostled, and I probably shouldn't have faith, but I just have it because I remember first love. And I remember first love for meeting Christ in my heart, meeting this God who saves, meeting this person of the fiber of flesh, who told blind men you don't have to be blind, who told sick and lame people you can walk again, who told the world that he would be able to overcome sin and shame and death, and there would be forgiveness. And he rolled away the stone of every grave. He taught us how to pray. And he said, do this when you pray, do this when you eat, give thanks to God, say the Our Father. He twisted life. He said, those who are poor in spirit, he gave us a set of beatitudes. And it's like he didn't leave us alone or without a way. And his ways are higher, his truth is higher, his life is elevated higher above any other name, And that's hard to grasp, but once you feel it, or once you sense it, or once you know it, and once you believe it, and his faith meets yours, it's not that it feels like I can be a better person. It feels like I can endure, but it also feels like I can try, even if it's very trying. And I have been through a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, but the moment of the way I feel is not based on because of me. It's not dependent on me. It's when God, I know he's going to be like, don't be blind, don't be lame, take care of yourself, don't be ashamed, just like he was, just like he is, and just like he will be. Don't let them make you sad. Don't worry about being poor in spirit. I'll bless you if you're poor in spirit. I'll bless you. I'll comfort you. If you're, if you're persecuted, there's an inheritance of righteousness there that no one can know about, because that type of persecution over the days and over the nights and what you endure. I'm going to bless you in that. And it's different. Nobody says to a persecuted person, this is where your blessing's going to come from. Unless they know something that you don't know. And it's a lot to read the gospel and then see those words. And how do you pray? You pray the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer. And what is the creed? It's a summation of Jesus's life. What is the rosary? It's a summation of Jesus's life built in with the mysteries that surround him and his greatness. And it's amazing. So you can know all that afterwards. I didn't know that when I was 6, but I come back to first love, to come back to see it, and to see where there were places where I could have been snatched up, and he stood watch, he stood his ground, he protected me, he emboldened me. I was emboldened to be resistant even to my own temptations at times. And I don't think people would understand someone like me saying, oh God, you know what, you can have that. You want that house, you can have that. Go ahead, have it, go ahead. God will give me another one, and it'll be bigger, it'll be better, or it'll be smaller and just enough, just right for me. Because I don't have to be defined by that house. My definition of the greatness comes from the fact that Jesus loves me. I don't always see it. I don't always feel it. I don't always believe it. It's that song, even when we don't see it, here he is. Even when we don't, feel it, here he is. He's the way maker, and he's the way maker, the promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And we get to have a relationship with God. And I have burnt so many bridges this past couple of years because I've been turning my attention towards the burnt embers of society that would cast one out instead of towards God. So I encourage myself, not anybody who's not a believer. It's not that it doesn't apply to you, but I'm talking to believers right now to go back to first love. It's not my advice for anybody. It is to just to have a testimony that this is what I've done. And over again, I find myself repenting because it's hard to stay there. It's hard, but thy will be done, God. And I hope that I stay in his love. No matter what happens, I hope he holds me and I'm able to acquiesce to let him hold me, because right now he's holding me up. It's hard for me right now, but it's not hard. I can't forget the blessing. It could be so much. It's not so much worse. My testimony is that this is better. I've been able to move. I've been able to circulate again. I've been able to try to acquiesce. I meet funny people. I meet people who have an understanding and a no-nonsense approach to life as well. And there is nothing that has happened that can't be covered by Christ. Now, on the other flip side of that, I went through the stages of what any girl might go through depending on her society. And then I said, I don't want any of that anymore. I don't need it. And I asked God to come back again and to blessed my life. And he gave me jobs in places that people probably wouldn't have thought, higher places than even I thought I would go. He blessed me, and he put me with people who were extremely, extremely, extremely smart. He put me and blessed me. Even though I had a low level, he blessed me to go places, to see things. And even beyond that, he gave me stability when I needed to pay off debt and loans and income. And I'm praying that he give me stability in all things and in this situation, so I can really take a chance to enjoy my life, not just be silly, not just be, revengeful and contradictory. But I think there's a contradiction in my life, a big contradiction, and I'm hoping that I'm able to have an outpouring of God's grace and mercy. Grace is an undeserved gift. Mercy is an unexpected gift, but you don't expect mercy from most people most of the time. You hope God gives it to you. You hope you have it with them. And then it just gets hard. So right now I'm traveling. I had to get my van kind of fixed up so I could have better control over my budget and get better time management skills. So everything has gone pretty darn slowly. Slowly. It takes time. It takes time. I take my time. You know, it's in youth you can take your time too, but in youth you have everything you need. Beautiful skin, beautiful hair, nice collagen. When you get older, these are things that you don't want to take for granted. You want to keep yourself going and everything like that, but you have to work hard at it. So it's a good chance for me to have a fresh start, and like I said, to things of today, Bank of America kind of was answering a prayer because they have resources to give to grant money for, you don't need any money down payment, they cover you. And when it's something is covered, you have to pray about it. And there's no PMI. You go through their course, and you get, if you can qualify and get certified, it's a wonderful thing. So I was thinking about something like that. But I was thinking about the blessing of it coming around. So it happened just this month, I believe. So take a look at it and see if you like it. You never know. Then, it's just like you said, you know, you have to, for me and my personal testimony, after getting rid of the riffraff, and then I met one person, and about 20 years ago plus, I fell head over heels, but they were involved, so I just tried to do my own thing for a while, and then I kind of dedicated my life to Christ and waiting and seeing, but also doing. So improving myself, finishing my education, getting my degrees and things like that, and working towards my own personal goals and certifications. And then I just realized I am tired, especially after paying off my student loans. I was just really tired, and it was so yawn. So I decided to let go of some things that were, and hold on to what was important, but then let go of some other things, and actually try to get through these days, and just go ahead and see the rest of America, because you never know, like, what you're going to encounter, who you're going to encounter. And there are a lot of good people, still out in the world who want the same things, similar things, such as house and, being able to pay your bills and being able to have fun and go to entertainment venues. So I'm very tired, but I had to get up early because the motto is, at least in this lifestyle, the early bird gets the worm. So I want to make sure I get up early. We have a few things more to take care of, but we can get moving into our next spot, and that is going to make a huge difference. So stay with the Lord and think about. I encourage you to think about what He has done and what He'll do for you, but also whatever the context is of some of you to be alone. Don't ever feel like you're alone, and that's what I tell myself. You're never alone because God says, I'm never going to leave you alone. I'm always going to be your God, your friend, your Savior, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. So I'm going to be all those things. When people turn and they go the opposite way, I'm going to be there. I'm going to step in and be that person. I'm going to be that person. So don't worry about it. Never alone. You're never alone. You're never alone. And don't give your power away. Just keep with your power. Keep with who you are and keep being who you are, because there's greatness inside of you. And if somebody doesn't see it, well, just don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, that's my testimony. I know we have come up against a lot of persecution, but hopefully things will, with prayer, with seeking God, things will get to the point where you're so blessed that there is no bounce backing. If you're not bounce backing, you're just staying blessed, and you're just thanking God throughout. You're just thanking God, and you're happy about it. It's like, I think it's either 2nd or 1st Thessalonians 5:1, or 1:5, that says, pray unceasingly, or pray and praise and give thanksgiving. I think it's what's the word that is used? Like constantly. So I hate to paraphrase, but like it's never ending praise and worship. And that's a wonderful place to be, no matter where you are, no matter what has happened in your life. When people get scared when they see you praising and worshiping and smiling, people get scared because they know God's up to something. They know that their plans are being thwarted. So keep it in that context, and don't worry about what people think or say or do. They have to, and you can't control that. But you also have to realize that that it's a small world, and I do pray, God forgive me for my sins, and both venial and grave, and any thoughts that I've had. And I pray that people, if you've anyone's fallen into temptation on my behalf, that they would find a place for forgiveness as well. And that's so good night. Good night for now. Bye. I'm glad I could give you my testimony. Bye.